Okay, so yesterday we talked about all these different angles, so I'm going to kind of go through this quickly. If you need to go back and watch the other video, go back and watch the other video. But first, let's review all the angles, and then today I'm adding a little bit of algebra to what you're doing. So don't forget, complementary angles always add to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles always add to 180. If you need to pause this and look at it, you can. Adjacent angles share a side. So like BOC would be one angle, and then COA would be the other. They share the side CO. A linear pair, so important for geometry, creates a line. They are adjacent angles. They share a side, and they always add to 180. If you need to pause this to look at it, do that. And then vertical angles, super important. First of all, vertical angles always equal each other. They are opposite angles. They are not adjacent angles. So like angle 1 and angle 3 would be vertical. Angle 2 and angle 4 would be vertical. But remember, angles make a V. So you would name the angle and then the other angle. And then don't forget that vertical angles always equal each other. And the two angles next to each other form a linear pair, so they always add to 180. So the opposites are equal. The ones next to each other, the linear pair, is 180. Okay, don't forget about naming angles, super important. You'll have to name angles on your assignment today. So naming a pair of vertical angles, like I could name this angle, angle AED. And then the vertical would be CEB. Or I could do the top and bottom, which would be CEA and BED. A linear pair makes a straight line, but make sure you name two angles because it's a pair. So CEA and angle AED. They have this side in common. They are adjacent, so they share a side. And together they form a line. Okay, so we are going to get into a little bit of like finding angle measures and algebra today. But real quick, on your assignment on that first page, you're going to be finding angle measures and also naming angles. So like on number 1, let's look real quick. Don't forget that vertical angles equal each other. So the opposite angles would be equal. If that's 38, this would be 38. If that's 142, that would be 142. And then naming the vertical angles. So XAY, well here this is the angle measure. So XAY would be 142, XAT would be 38. So let's name the verticals. So XAY would be the top angle, so the bottom angle would be TAZ. That's how you name those vertical angles. And then the left and the right angles would be XAT and angle YAZ. So that's how you'll do that front page. You'll find the angle measures and then you'll list the vertical pairs. Okay. And then you'll have some algebra on the other side. So let's talk about all these. Vertical angles always equal each other, so don't forget that opposite angles are equal. So if that's 112, x would be 112. This forms a right angle, so that means those two angles add to 90. So if you just do 90 minus 68, you'll get that angle. So 90 minus 68 would be 22, so angle x would be 22. This is a linear pair, so they always add up to, hopefully you remember 180. Just do 180 minus 124, and you will get the missing angle, which is 56. This one, remember that opposite angles equal each other, so which other angle do you think would be 43? Hopefully you said Y. And then the two next to each other always add to 180. So just do 180 minus 43 and you'll get X and Z. 180 minus 43 would be 137. So that would be both X and Z. Okay, this one has a lot going on, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got, first I see vertical angles, so 72 degrees. Do you see this X right here? Which other angle would be 72 degrees? I hope you said Y, so those are directly opposite each other. And then do you see this box right here? If that's 90, then this entire angle right here would be 90. So you'd have to do 90 minus 72 to get Z. And then these two form a linear pair, so 180 minus 72 to get X. So 180 minus 72 to get X, 90 minus 72 to get Z. Okay, on the next section, angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles. If angle 2 is 105, what's the measure of angle 1? Well, vertical angles are always equal, so angle 1 would be 105. This one says A and B are complementary. If angle A is 42, find the measure of angle B. Complementary angles add to 90, so just do 90 minus 42. P and Q are supplementary. Supplementary angles always add to 180, so just do 180 minus 64. 1 and 2 form a linear pair. Linear pair always adds to 180, so 180 minus 113. Okay, let's go to the algebra. So on this first one, I've got PQT, which is 3x plus 47. And then I have SQR, which is 6x minus 25. Vertical angles equal each other. So 3x plus 47 equals 6x minus 25. I'm going to grab a calculator. Okay, so we want to get x's together on one side. My 3x is smaller, so I'm going to subtract it. So 47 equals 3x minus 25. Then I have a two-step equation, so plus 25. So 47 plus 25 is 72. I'm out of room. 72 would equal 3x. Divide by 3. X would equal 24. But it also says to find the measure of SQR. So SQR is right here. I've got to plug 24 in. So 6 times 24 minus 25. 6 times 24 minus 25 is 119. Okay, the next one says that AB is perpendicular to CD, which means these are right angles right here, 90-degree angles. It says that angle DCE is 7x plus 2, and ECB is x plus 8. They would have to add together to equal 90. So I would do 7x plus 2 plus x plus 8 equals 90. We've got like terms we can combine. 7x and 1x is 8x. 2 and 8 is 10 equals 90. And then you have a two-step equation. Minus 10, 8x equals 80, divide by 8, x would equal 10. But it asks us to find the measure of DCE. So DCE is right here, which is 7x plus 2. So I would do 7 times 10 plus 2. 70 plus 2 would be 72. And then I have another one. I have angle KNM, which is 8x minus 5. And then MNJ, which is 4x minus 19. Those make a line. They are a linear pair, so they add to 180. So 8x minus 5 plus 4x minus 19 equals 180. We've got like terms. When the x's are on the same side of the equals, you just combine them. So 8 and 4 is 12, x, negative 5, and negative 19 would be negative 24 equals 180 plus 24 would be is 17. X is 17. But it asks us to find KNM. So we're going to plug it in. 8 times X minus 5. So 8 times 17 minus 5. 8 times 17 minus 5 is 131. So you will have algebra. Hopefully you'll do okay. If you have questions, please ask. And then I just have my joke. So please let me know if you have questions.